tech-savvy. Okay, I think I've got my technical difficulties fixed. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Sorry about all that. Been having some trouble at my house with my internet router. Okay, I think I've got my technical difficulties fixed. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Sorry about all that. I was running a little late coming back to Crossville from Cookeville, and we'd gone over to do some shopping today. And I did go to Sam's, and I'm going to run down here and tell you what I bought at Sam's today, budget purposes. In my previous budget video, I talked about my grocery bill being $865. Well, it included a lot of stuff that we might have bought at Sam's. But I'm going to include the Sam's bill in my next budget for this month separate, as a separate category. And we'll go through that. Anyways, we took a friend of my wife's with me, and we all had dinner at Longhorn. Boy, it was good too. It's been a long time since I'd been out to dinner. Anyways, some of the things I wanted to cover tonight. Welcome to my live stream, and this is not my first one, but this is my first. Well, let's just call it first official live stream. Let me get a cup of coffee here. I just got back in. Like 10 minutes ago. Been having a little bit of difficulty with my internet connection. I think my modem, my cable modem, has some bad ports on it, probably from a storm we've had, and I'm probably going to have to take it and get it swapped out over at Xfinity. We have an Xfinity modem. So anyways, I want to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. I am overwhelmed by the response of my budgeting video. I had no idea that it would take off and do so well. And I appreciate each and every one of you being here on the channel. And, like I said, that was my first budget video, and it went viral pretty quick. I had no idea, which just goes to tell me that I'm probably going to have to do more. And based on the comments I got on the video, I'm probably going to have to do better, okay? Better planning to present my budget to you. The biggest question on the video, the biggest comment, the most comments was my property taxes. And I addressed that in a subsequent video I posted after that budgeting video. That was last Tuesday's video. And basically, I live here in Tennessee. It's a pretty affordable state to live in. If you want to, by the way, if you want to leave a comment, drop me a comment and I'll answer you tonight. Let me get my chat box up here so I can see it. There we go. Let me type something in here. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. So the most commented topic I had was on my property taxes. And good evening, Ann. No, you're not late. I'm late. Okay. I was running late over in Cookeville, about 35 miles from here. We went to do some shopping today in Sam's and what have you. But anyways, the comment about my property taxes was asked a lot. And basically, I live here in Tennessee. It's a very affordable state to live in. We don't have a state income tax. Our property tax, for me anyways, is very reasonable. I live in the county. I don't live in a city municipality. The services that I have available to me here are city water, which is not run by the city, it's run by a water district, and natural gas, which is also run by a natural gas company. I do have those two services available. What we don't have is sewer. Okay, so our house is on a septic system, which is fine. That's the way things have been for years. But anyways, my property taxes only run me $450 a year. And that to me is very reasonable. And I understand that many of you live in different parts of the country where your property taxes are very high. I did not include them in my initial budget because I didn't consider them significant, but they are, because when you break down the $450 a year, it comes out to about $37, $38 a month. So that needs to be included in the budget. Some of the other things, there was a lot of questions about my grocery bill being $865 for that budget. Well, that included a lot of things. It didn't include just groceries. I lumped in paper products, cleaning supplies, things that are non-edible that you would happen to buy at Walmart. We have a Walmart Supercenter, so it's real easy to go in and grab vitamins and toiletry items and those kind of things that are not part of your food that you're consuming, and just include them in the bill. So what I've done is I'm being real careful this month. I've kept my receipts separate from my food that I'm buying, and I will do a better job of breaking down my food versus my other non-food items in the budget. The budget was basically an eye-opener for everybody, and I hope it helped a lot of you open your eyes a little bit to get you to know that there's a lot going on when you retire. I was really scared before I retired. I've been working all my life, and I was always under a secure umbrella, getting a paycheck every week and all that. But when I retired, I didn't have a lot of guidance or anything. And the only guidance I had was from an insurance advisor that I got a hold of and helped me guide me through the insurance process of getting my Plan D, my Plan G, and those things. Okay. So he helped me with that. He did give me some advice on filing for Social Security and Medicare, when to do it and what I had to do first and second. So, if you're in that process, you're getting ready to retire, or you're thinking about retire, there's help available, and it's free help. Get you an insurance person that is out there. We're getting ready to come up on the open enrollment period for your supplemental plans. I believe it starts on October the 15th and runs through December the 31st. So, you want to start planning ahead now. Those of you that are on a Plan G or a Plan N will probably be getting letters pretty soon. And hopefully they're not letters notifying you they've gone up in price like my parents did last year. They got letters about that. Ann says, wow, my property taxes are 4 times higher than what you mentioned. Also found out my Plan G would be half in Tennessee as opposed to Florida rates. Another reason to move. So that's the thing. The Plan G rates are different from state to state, from what I understand. So when I got presented my Plan G options, I was provided with 4 insurance companies to choose from. Well, basically, they all were about the same price. I guess things are regulated in some way. They were all about the same price. So I picked Mutual of Omaha because of the size of the company. My wife, she had a Plan N. She was with Mutual of Omaha. My parents had Mutual of Omaha, and I knew that they pretty much were trouble-free. So that's why I picked Mutual of Omaha. My Plan G cost me $125 a month for that. My Plan D cost me about $43 a month, and I have one drug. It's what they call a Tier 4. So when you get your Plan D, they will ask you, what medications you're on, and then that'll kind of determine, what you're going to get. And, last year things changed on the deductible for medicine. So the maximum deductible this year was $2,000. Okay. So, that was the maximum out-of-pocket expense for you if you were on a drug plan, Plan D. But it depends on what state you're in. Things are a little bit different, I know some of the people weighed in. They might have lived in California. They might have lived up in the Northeast, higher paying states, Michigan, those kind of places where I've heard where taxes are higher. And it is very affordable. I did on that video, the video I did after the budget video to explain or answer the 10 or 12 most common questions. I did show you a chart there of the 10 most affordable states to retire in. And what was really surprising is Wyoming was like in the top 5. And I always thought Wyoming was an expensive state to live in. So anyways, I gathered that off the internet using ChatGPT. So, take that with a grain of salt. But I do know this: it's very affordable to live in Tennessee. Okay. Anyways, if you got some questions about that stuff, leave them in the chat box here. We're going to continue on. I'll back up and catch those questions on there. One of the things I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to show you some things, is the channel itself, okay? Now, a lot of you that watch YouTube channels, I know you don't subscribe and what have you. That doesn't really matter too much. But a lot of channels, and especially me, okay, I use an area called Post to communicate with you. It's almost like a little chat board thing where I can post a message. You guys can, give it a thumbs up if you like it. You can actually comment on the message. And that's where I put things. I'm going to try to show you that real quick here. Let me get things situated here so I can show that to you. Let's see if I can do this without messing things up. All right, here is my channel. Okay, this is the my main channel. This is probably what you will probably see, I'm thinking, if you sign into it. You might not see this section here for you, but you will see. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let me switch channels so I can show you what you probably will see. I'm going to switch over to my photography channel. And now this is what you would see. Let me make sure it's correct. Yes, if you were a subscriber to the channel, you would see this. And what I wanted to show you is this little menu bar right here where it says Home, Videos, Shorts, Live, and Playlist. If you go under the word Post and look in there, this is where things are posted that I communicate to you. And there's some posts in here if you want to read them. And it talks, there's several in here, okay? They go back several months. I don't normally delete these. They're always there. Sometimes they're informing you of a link to a video or something like that. So, pay attention. And this is on anybody's channel. Now, if you've got notifications turned on, if you're subscribed to the channel like this, and you've got all notifications turned on, then, when you are in your YouTube channel, you should see a little bell up here with a number by it, letting you know that there's some notifications. If you click on that, it'll tell you these notifications here. So it's telling you right here, it's telling me as on my Ron Durant photography channel that I am live. Ron, all things Ron is live. Hey Evie, how are you, Evie? And then you'll see any channel that you're following and getting notifications from when they post a video are all listed in here. So you will get live feed information, and not just from my channel, but from any channels that you are part of. And how you can tell you haven't read or participated is right next to their icon is a blue dot. That tells you have not viewed that yet. So if I click on this one, for example, and go look and see what he's done, and then I hit the back button and come back, if you go under notifications, you'll notice that his notification is gone. Okay, well, it's not gone, it's right here. It doesn't have a blue dot next to it anymore. So the ones that got little blue dots means you haven't seen them yet. Okay, so that's always a good thing. It kind of lets you know what you haven't seen. I just wanted to bring that up a little bit because I think a lot of people don't understand that part of a YouTube channel. Some of the other things too is this is how I set this channel up. You have a list of my videos, and then you have a list of my playlists. Now, I have a lot more videos than what you can see on the main feed right here, okay? There's more, and those are in playlist. And what I've done is I've put in some playlists, okay? I'm gonna show you right here, and they're unlisted videos, which means you cannot see them unless you have the link. But being that they're in a playlist, you can see them, okay? The playlist is public. So for example, if you want to go watch some of my Walmart shopping trips, you go into here, view full playlist. It shows you all the videos that are in here. And if you want to watch them, you can. What this allows me to do is it allows me to keep my fun to do videos, that I call them fun to do, on the channel, but without cluttering the main feed and taking away from the niche. There's that word again, the niche, okay? So, there's one here about my retirement journey. If you click on that, you see all the playlists in here for that. And we're going to click back. And getting healthy. These are my healthy videos I've been doing about walking and what have you. They're all in here. My declutter videos, and then helping the senior parents. That's the one that really, it's a big topic right now in my life. Okay, and we're going to cover that in the live stream here in a minute. But on any channel, if you don't see this playlist right here like this, go up to the top menu bar and click playlist. And these are the playlists here. You can see them here. So if you're interested in other videos that people have done on their channels, this is a good way to go and see those. Now, I was on a live stream with Evie and some of her friends last night, and we touched on this a little bit. So it's okay to post fun videos that are not part of your niche. What I would do, though, is I would create a playlist. When you post those videos, make them unlisted. That way they don't clutter your feed and don't affect your niche. Go ahead and create a playlist and place those fun videos, those unlisted videos in that playlist, because the playlist, you're going to make the playlist public, which means people can see them then if they click on the playlist, just like this. So they are, okay? And if you do that, then you can do all the fun videos you want, and it really shouldn't affect the niche of your channel, okay? But anyways, pay attention to that. It's a little area that people don't know about. Now, when I want to inform you of something going on in the playlist that you may miss, I'm going to inform you under the post section. Just like this right here. On August 21st, 2025, I said, greetings everyone. I want to welcome so many new subscribers to the channel. It is very nice to meet all of you. It makes me so happy that I'm building a community of like-minded individuals. I've had so many wonderful comments the last few days about my budget video, and I'm trying to get to each and every one of them. I wanted to share this playlist on my retirement videos I have done in the past. The videos are unlisted, so they don't really clutter the main channel feed. But if you look at the playlist, you'll be able to watch these videos. There are several that talk about my retirement journey, and some talk about Social Security and insurances. If you're interested, go take a look. You might gather some useful information out of my journey into retirement. And this is a link to the playlist. And if you're a creator and you want to create playlist, then it's really easy to do, okay? And what you do is when you do create a playlist, you just make it, I'm going to show you right here. I don't know if I can show you or not. Let's see. Edit. Let's share, play all. I'm not sure where I can edit that at. Anyways, you just make your playlist public. Make it public and all the videos under it unlisted. So you can organize them like folders. And that's what I've done here. Walmart shopping, retirement journey, getting healthy, and all that junk. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And hopefully some of the YouTube creators that are watching this video gets another idea, about how to put, fun videos. Because I think, if you're working at your niche all the time, it might get a little stressful on you trying to figure your niche out, trying to post on your niche all the time. And so it's probably good to have some fun videos that you do, okay? It can be daily vlogs. You could do daily vlogs that are not part of your niche and make a playlist of daily vlogs, and you would just have those out there, okay? So you could do that. Anyways, I wanted to kind of bring that up a minute. You can find other interests, or you can put videos out there that are other interests, okay? Let's dive into, I'm going to dive into the parents update, and then I'm going to get into my getting healthy part update. So I've got a lot of things going on in my life right now. So the parents, you've seen a video I posted yesterday about a tour of their mobile home. They're getting real close to being able to move into that, okay? We've got to wait for some things to happen. The electrical's hooked up, the plumbing's hooked up, the water's hooked up. And we're just waiting for the electrical inspection and the heating and air inspection and the plumbing inspection. And once they get that inspected, then Clayton Homes is supposed to send some actually, there's a person coming out Monday from Clayton Homes to adjust the sliding glass door, put the glass doors on the shower stall, and to just basically go over the maintenance stuff that has to be done on the mobile home. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me check the chat box real quick. Ann says, great information. Did not know about posts. I will check these out from now on. Yes, Ann, and you're able to comment back on those posts, okay? I helped my 88-year-old dad start YouTube. Just wants to post pictures. Cool. All right. It's never too late to start a YouTube channel, is it? Hey, Lori. How are you? Anyways, the parent update. So the trailer's looking pretty good. There's probably going to be some things that pop up. But the sooner that I can get my mom in there, the better, because she is having a lot of issues right now. And, I think it's just going to be a lot better having her right next door to me. I mean, literally within 200 feet of my house, okay, as things progress. And she has, I think this move in the selling of their condo and the buying of this trailer has really taken a toll on her. Everybody around her seems to notice it. Strangers that haven't seen her for a couple months, my wife, myself, we all notice the differences in her. So she's gotten to the point now where she'll ask me to do something that she asked me last week to do, which I deemed was not something we should be doing. And now what I do is, instead of, telling her that she's already told me to do that, I just say, yeah, Mom, I'll take care of that for you. And then she doesn't ask me about it again. It's nothing really important, but it's just stuff that pops into her brain, and she wants you to do that. So anyways, but so far she's driving still. I don't know how long that's going to last. Nobody wants to be the one to go and say, hey, you need to not drive anymore. I have offered to take her to the grocery store in town. She likes to go to Kroger's, and it's quite a little drive from where we're at to Kroger's. She did not want me to do that. She doesn't like driving. She doesn't like shopping at Food City for some reason. It's not Kroger's. She wants to go to Kroger's. And I get it, okay, but I'm trying to keep her from driving too much, but I don't know how we're going to handle that when we get to there. And then I've got my stepfather. That's a whole nother story right there. He's actually going to be 88 in November. She will be 88 in April. And I'm not too sure what's going on with him either. He's out there doing stuff, and I just scratch my head, thinking, what's an 88-year-old man doing out there putting in a septic tank or rebuilding a fence in the backyard, a wood fence, by the way. He tells me he's going to buy cows. I said, you're going to buy cows at 88 years old. You're going to buy cows, okay? And I bet he doesn't, okay? And I'm not too sure. I think maybe he might have a touch of it. I'm not too sure about that. But I'm the only child here, and just to explain that a little bit, he's my stepfather. He's from Wales. He has 5 children. 4 of them live in Wales. One of them does not. One of them lives in Massachusetts. Myself, on my mother's side, is just me and my sister. Okay, she lives in Nashville. And my sister comes over about once every 2 months or so, or a month and a half, and visits for a couple of days. And her and I have been conversing back and forth on the phone about our mother, okay? And my sister works in the healthcare. She does take care of elderly people. She does have a lot more experience and knowledge at that. So anyways, the trailer looks really good. I'm really impressed with it. It seemed like it's going to be a nice solid home. They're not going to use vinyl skirting around it. My stepfather did not want that. So he had the boys who dug the footer pads to set the trailer on to dig a footer all the way around the perimeter of the trailer. And they're going to use the decorative type cinder blocks, the kind that's got a texture on it, and they're going to make a block skirting around the trailer. And I think that'll look a lot better, and probably be a lot better for the mobile home to have that, to insulate the water lines and what have you in the wintertime. And you know how vinyl is, the sun beating down on it over the years, it ends up cracking. You hit it with the weed eater, things happen, okay? So Yeah, so I just covered that, Lori. Yeah, how he's doing. He's actually doing better than my mom somewhat. So I'm just kind of watching both of them to see what's going on. I'm not getting in their way. I'm not telling them they can't do this, they can't do that. I'm not being the parent. Okay. What I am doing is I'm watching to make sure that they don't get themselves into trouble. Okay. I mean, you can't stop life, and that's just the way I feel about it. And I'm not going to be their parent. But I'm also not going to be the one that takes on all the burden either for their whatever they can think of in their brain. And my dad has about 3 projects going on out here that's none of them are finished, okay? And I really don't want to be involved in them. I didn't start those projects. I don't deem them necessary. So these are his projects. If he wants to continue putting around with them and working on them, then that's just fine, okay? I'm just watching to make sure he doesn't fall over out there and something happened to him. The Lloyd channel, how you doing this evening? I'm not sure about the doctor visit telling her she can't drive. Here's the thing. She don't like doctors, okay? And she only goes to them because she can't get her medicine on her own. And she doesn't believe in doctors. Her father was the same way, okay? My grandfather was brought up. He was born in 1896. He was in World War I. He lived to be 98 years old. He died at the age of he died at 98 years old in 1993 or 94, somewhere around that area. Whatever 98 years plus 1896. But anyhow, back in the day, in the 40s and 50s, and anybody on here listening that's in that age group, they're probably about 90 years old right now or 100. But back in the 40s and the 50s, they had a thing called the Merck Manual. And according to my grandfather, it looked like a Bible. It was about yay thick. It was blue, about that big around. But according to my grandfather, all the doctors, when you went to see a doctor, they had you in the examining room. And when they didn't know what was wrong with you, they would go to their office and pull out the Merck Manual and read it, okay? So he swore by that. My mother is just like him. She thinks she knows more than the doctors, okay? And, she's not going to believe them. Last month, I thought that maybe the driver's testing, last month, the 2 of them went down and got their driver's license renewed. And in Tennessee, the renewal's good for 8 years. That's scary. I thought if she went down there, because I did hear that if somebody presented themselves at the driver license place and they were not acting right, that it was the prerogative of the testing facility to retest them. Okay. And if they had retested her, I don't think she would have passed. I don't think she would have. Here at the University of Florida, we have something called Smart Driver that evaluates driving abilities in those who need evaluation. Perhaps you have something like that near where you are. Yeah, how do you get them to go there? I mean, the state of Tennessee just renewed her license, okay? And I really thought, maybe something would have come out of that, but it didn't. I don't know. Anyways, probably what will slow her down, and they have talked about this, is going down to one vehicle. They have 2 vehicles now. If they go down to one vehicle, that might slow her down, okay? I don't know. Once she gets here near me, maybe I can do something about that. But I've talked to her before. It's not a new subject. It's something I've talked to her about before to get her to realize she does have some health issues that we've had to take her to the emergency room before. Blacking out, low blood pressure problems, those kind of things. And I've explained to her, not only her hurting herself, but it's hurting other people. It's crashing into somebody. I've given her the worst case scenarios I could. Running into somebody and killing everybody in the other car. Getting behind a school bus and accidentally hitting a school child. All those things. It doesn't register. And I guess if I was her age and somebody was telling me all this stuff, and driving is a powerful thing these days. I I don't get it. Well, maybe I do get it. I don't know. If somebody told me I couldn't drive, it would probably be devastating. But I don't know how you get. She's already the Lloyd channel. She already had an accident about 6 years ago. She right down the road here from where we live. She ran off the road across somebody's driveway over the culvert and came within 10 feet of a telephone pole before her vehicle stopped. She blacked out. She does not remember. She does not remember what happened. And totaled the van. She totaled the van. And she has had some incidents at home, but not while driving, okay, where she's had some blacking out issues or blood pressure issues. I mean, we had her in the hospital a couple times with her blood pressure skyrocketing like 217 over 140. I'm sitting there watching her in the emergency room, and the doctor's not even coming in and checking on her. I says, well, it seems to me that's awful damn high. And, I don't know. And they've run her through all kinds of tests. She had a nuclear stress test. That was, what do they call it? She failed, but they gave it I forget what they called it. Yeah, maybe a golf cart. Well, if we lived in a senior community, maybe, but we don't. Okay, we live in the country, so driving to town is like about a 15-mile drive from here, and some of it's on the interstate to get there. So, anyways, the only thing I think is gonna change is if she does it herself, okay, and just says, I'm not driving anymore. My grandfather, who I was just telling you about, that was 98 years old, he used to ride in the back seat. He wouldn't drive. He quit driving 10 years before he died. And my grandmother was 25 years younger than him, so she did all the driving when they went to town. And he would ride in the back seat all the time. And I asked him one time, hey, Pop, I called him Pop. I said, hey, Pop, how come you're always riding in the back seat? He said, because if we get in a crash, it's farther to the dashboard. He had it figured out that if they got into a crash, that he might not hit the dashboard if he was in the back seat. Thank you. Thank you, the Lloyd channel. We're working on it. Okay, we're getting there. So anyways, that's pretty much the parent update right now. Things are a lot better than what they were. If you go watch some of the parent videos I got in a playlist, you can kind of catch up on some of the stories. And those videos are there to help some of you who are going to have to deal with this crisis. That's what I call it, a crisis, because I retired last year, and I didn't retire because of my parents. I retired because I wanted to retire, and I did not expect what is going on now to be happening. And I do now, but I didn't when I retired. So anyways, I hope some of these videos that are in that playlist can help some of you deal with some of your own crisis with parents. The best thing to do is, approach everything with kindness, approach everything with love. And I tell people this all the time. I said, just remember this, okay? Your parents gave you the first 18 years of your life. They sacrificed for you. You can do the same for them at the end of their life. That's what I think of, okay? Anyways, it's a little bit different for me because I'm dealing with a step parent, okay? But, I'm not blood to him. And he's from Wales, and their traditions are different over there and the way they do everything. So I am their POA. I'm their medical POA. I'm on all their accounts. I am their executor of their wills. So that's all taken care of. It's been taken care of for years, and we're all prepared for that. Right now, I'm trying to get them to go and arrange their funeral. And they both have told me that they want to be cremated, and that's their wish. And I asked them to please, if they had the time, and they got the money, to go down and take care of it now so we didn't have to deal with it later. My wife and I have discussed this ourselves. We are the same way. We both want to be cremated. That is our belief, and we are going to do the same. Even though I'm only 68, I'm going to be 68 next month in October. Happy birthday to me. And we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to go down very soon and take care of that. And I know I need to go and probably do some kind of will because there are some circumstances for us that I want to make sure are followed through with our sons. Anne says, yes, kindness, love, and gentle guidance is very important in caring for all of our loved ones. Exactly, okay? And that's what I love about this community that I built, okay, on this channel is, the ones that are here commenting tonight, the ones that watch my videos, they are in some kind of similar circumstance, or they're thinking about their circumstances maybe 5, 6, 7, and 10 years from now. But, I didn't have YouTube, and I didn't have this guidance back years ago. I've just kind of learned it on my own, watched a few YouTube videos on some other people's journeys. And, I was raised differently. The baby boomers, this generation is different, and it's going to be different than the ones coming behind us, the way things are thought of and stuff. There's still going to be a lot of caring for elderly, no matter what generation you're from, okay? And hopefully you're not leaving you young people who are watching this channel tonight, the ones that are down in their 30s and 40s, just remember this, okay? That, your parents are going to need some help if they live into their senior years, 70s and 80s. They're going to need some kind of help in the future. For me, I don't have any help, okay? I have a son. Well, I didn't even talk about it, but neither one of my sons are in a position to help us, okay? So, I'm not too sure. It's just me and my wife. We're going to have to take care of each other. Anyways, let's move on, talk about something more pleasant. Well, let's talk about something else, not necessarily more pleasant, but let's just move along to the healthy part. So I've been on my 10,000 step a day kick, okay? And I started out the 1st of July. I weighed, we just get right to the weight, all right? I weighed 237 pounds when I started, give or take. Okay, probably more like give. I weighed myself this morning, and I'm down to 224. That's a 13-pound loss, okay? I have not, the month of August, I have not walked consistently every day. I probably missed about 4 or 5 days of walking, but for the most part, I did do my walk. And there for a couple weeks, my weight was at a stalemate, okay? And I'm not too sure why. I wasn't losing any weight, but I wasn't eating anymore. One of the things I did on this healthy diet, on this healthy kick, is I changed my eating habits and got rid of all the junk food I was buying, like the Cheetos, Cheez-Its, ice cream, cookies. Oh, God, there was 5 things. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, candy bars, okay, Hershey candy bars. I got rid of them 5 things and quit eating them altogether. So, if I want to have a snack, I have my meals, and I'll tell you what they are in a minute. But if I want to have a snack, I get a bag of pretzels, and I have them up in the cabinet. And if I get a little hungry, I want a little snack, I'll grab a handful of pretzels, okay? Now, I know they got carbs and all that, and I'm not on a specific diet. I'm just eating more healthy. Lisa said, my husband and I both have birthdays in November. How did we celebrate? We went that month and had wills done. Excellent. Lisa, how old are you, you and your husband? Evie says, I have to walk the dog and get my steps before dark. See you later. Go get them steps in, okay? Go get them steps. Yeah, congratulations, Lisa. I like to know how long it took you to decide to do that. How old are you? But anyways, I'm not on any kind of specific diet of any kind. I'm just eating more sensible. So let me give you an example of my day. I get up in the morning, made some coffee. I'll have me a cup of coffee. Now it's getting light later. I was going for my walk about 5:15. I'm now not leaving the house till about 6 o'clock. I don't like, going too much in the dark. So what was I going to say? I lost myself. Oh yeah, I make a pot of coffee and I have a cup of coffee, and then I get my shorts on, my shoes, and get ready to go. And I drive down to the walking place that I walk at, and I do my walk. It usually takes me about an hour and a half or 2 hours, hour 45 minutes. I think I got it down to an hour and a half now. My pace is pretty quick. And I can walk the 5 miles. I'm walking 5.02, 5.05 miles every day around this track, this course I do. And I can do it about an hour and 30 minutes. I come back home and I may have another cup of coffee and sit and watch some YouTube videos and relax a little bit, kind of recover from that walk. And then I'll make breakfast about 9 o'clock. And usually for breakfast, I have one or two things. Well, the most important thing I have, or the thing I have the most days of the week, is bacon and eggs. I'll have toast, and I'll have a protein shake made out of milk and my protein powder. So when I do that, I'll usually have 3 eggs scrambled with a pat of butter. I use a sliced Italian loaf that they sell at the bakery at Walmart. I think it's probably a little bit better than processed bread. I'm not sure, but it tastes better, and it's Italian style bread. I'll have 2 pieces of that with some butter on it, and then I'll have 2 or 3 pieces of bacon. Okay, that is my breakfast, and the protein drink, and that fills me up. If I have that at 9 o'clock, I'm good to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I may get a little snacky about noonish. I'll just get me a handful of pretzels maybe, or something like that. Sometimes I'll have just get some cottage cheese in a bowl and have some cottage cheese for a snack. And then for supper, depends. It's nothing in particular for supper. I try to eat chicken breast. If my wife is having something that I don't want, then I'll have a chicken breast. I cook it in the air fryer. And if I do that, I'll normally have a serving of cottage cheese, a serving of applesauce, and maybe a vegetable if I can get something out of my wife there. Every once in a while I don't have that. I'll have what she's having. Like she made spaghetti the other night. I had a little spaghetti. And then like tomorrow we're making pork ribs in the oven. We'll do that. Today we really splurged. Okay, we went to not Longhorn. Yes, we went to the Longhorn Steakhouse. Okay, and I had a prime rib, a loaded baked potato, about a half a loaf of that bread. Boy, is it good! And let's see, and a salad. Okay, with ranch dressing. So I kind of fell off the wagon. But it's okay. I don't think I fell off the wagon that much, okay? But it'd been a while since I had a good meal like that. And I think you need to do that, okay? I don't think you need to deprive yourself. And the goal here of this walking is not necessarily the weight loss. I want to lose weight, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is here to get healthier and get fit and get toner and just feel good about yourself. Let me catch up on the comments real quick. Ann says, fluctuations in weight loss is normal. Our bodies are catching up to the changes. The key is to stay the course. You're exactly right, Ann. And another thing, too, consider this. If you're burning fat when you're walking, I think it's after about 15 minutes of walking, you go into the fat burning stage. Over time, a month or two, you're going to change that fat that's down in your lower part of your body that you're working the most into muscle. And we all know that muscle weighs more than fat. Lisa says, I'm 53 and he's 61. Bit of an age difference. My mom died at 59 without a will. And as an only child, I was clueless what she wanted and felt lost. We didn't want to put our only child through that. That is great, Lisa. Okay. That decluttering your home, all that stuff is saving your child from having to go through that. I did a couple of declutter videos. I'm having a little trouble, getting the other part of the house decluttered. You know what I mean? I don't want to say it too loud. She may hear me in the other room. But she has worked on it a little bit. There's a lot of declutter in your house. Tim did a great video, 35 years of declutter. I believe it. I probably got 50 years of decluttering to do. I did declutter my basement a little bit last year. And for those of you new on the channel, if you go look at the playlist, let me show you real quick again. If you go right here to the playlist and you'll look, there's the declutter videos are right here. And you can see what I've done in my basement, okay, in my garden shed. I did my basement and my garden shed, okay. So you may find that interesting if you want to go see that. You can go to that playlist and see that. But anyways, back to the exercise and healthy stuff. I've been watching Planet Fitness here in Crossville. They've been running some specials, okay? And they've been running specials on the Black Card, which is $25 a month. And then they got specials on the Classic. Well, this week, the specials on the Classic came back up. I went down today and I signed up at the gym, okay? And it's going to cost me $15 a month to do that. It didn't cost me anything. I think it was $5 to sign up or $1 to sign up, whatever it was. But anyways, it's going to be $15 a month and there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time. So what made me do that? I was going to do it this winter, but I decided to do it now. One, because of the sale. But number two is I went out to do a hike today this morning, and I had to turn around and leave because it started raining. All right. It was raining, and I had to go back and get in the truck and come back home and forget about it. So one of the things that I've been doing this month of September, is I've kind of diverted my walking at the track to a hiking marathon. They have a thing here called a hiking marathon every year. They've got like 12 trails. These are not paved trails. These are not like what I've been used to walking on. These are hiking trails in the woods. And there's about 26 miles of them, and you got the whole month to do those in. So what I've been doing is I've been doing the hiking marathon, kind of mixing up the walking with that and still keeping up the pace. And so I really like both the hiking and the walking, and it's a lot of fun and what have you. So yeah, I did do the gym membership today, and I hope to start putting that to use. And I did that because I know we're coming into winter, and there's going to be days that I will not be able to get out and do the actual walking. It could be too cold, it might be snowing, whatever, but at least I got a place to go. And in addition to the walking, I want to introduce some strength training into my regimen, okay? I want to work on some of my upper body muscles and what have you. I mean, definitely been working on my legs and glutes and all that, because that's in the lower body. And about the most movement I get when I'm walking is just getting my arms moving back and forth. But I want to do some resistance training and kind of build up my my muscle tone just a little bit. Nothing heavy duty. From what I understand, there's a lot of senior citizens that go down to Planet Fitness about 5-6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, when I talked to the dude today after I signed up, he said, yeah, they get a lot of senior citizens before 9 o'clock down there. So I'll be right in my element, Laura, yes, I will be walking in the winter if I can, okay? But that's one of the reasons I joined the Planet Fitness, okay, was so I can continue my exercise regimen. I'm committed to this. I really feel a lot better. I feel really good, and just the walking part of it, I look forward to almost daily when I go. If I don't go some days, I kind of miss it. So I'll give you an example. On Thursday, I worked on the hiking marathon deal, and I hiked 7 miles of trails. I did 4 different trails, 7 miles, which is a real push for me, okay? And I had my camera with me too. I'm trying to get in shape for my trips this fall, where I will be doing some hiking for the photography. But so on Friday, I was going to go back out and hike 2 more trails, but when I woke up Friday morning, my legs were kind of sore. I said, you know what? I need to take a day off and recover. So that's what I did. I took Friday off. So it's okay to take a day off from walking. In fact, some of these people I've been watching on YouTube on some of these channels, I see they walk in they might walk 2-3 days a week, but on Sunday they do nothing. They don't do any walking, no strength training, no exercise. That's their recovery day. So I think you have to have a recovery day when you're walking every day. I've just been trying to push myself too hard because I was kind of focused on the weight loss because that was a goal of mine. But right now I'm just, trying to get healthy. Okay, trying to stay healthy. 223 or 224, I'm sorry. I told my wife when I got to 220 we was going to go get a hot fudge sundae. That'd be like my celebration. But I pretty much blew my hot fudge sundae tonight at Longhorn Restaurant with all the stuff I had for supper. But what I like to do is get down to about 210, 215, somewhere in that range. I think that's a comfortable range for me. I checked on that, and my Plan G does not have that. You can pay for it, but it was like $28 a month. And it was like, nah, I can get it for $15 a month on my own. So I have Humana for my drug plan, but they're not my Plan G. If Humana is your Plan G, they have a program for free gym membership. I did check into that, but I don't have my Plan G with Humana. I have it with Mutual of Omaha, and Mutual of Omaha does not include it in the plan. You can purchase it for $28 a month, but that's it, okay? Anyways, excuse me for a second. That's about all I wanted to say in this live stream with y'all. I'm going to try to do more of them as things progress. The things with the parents in the trailer out here. Ann's Plan G is with AARP, United Healthcare. Yeah, that was another thing on my budget video. I was kind of shocked about something I'm going to talk about for a minute, and it has to do with my insurance. Okay, when you're working, I don't think you really pay attention to things like this. I didn't. Until last year. My wife mainly pays the insurance bills, and I wasn't really seeing them too much, and I really didn't pay attention to them while I was working. But last fall, she said, "Hey, did you notice that the car insurance went up?" I said, "Let me see." So she showed it to me. I said, "Well, what did we pay last year?" So she went and pulled a couple bills from the previous year, and they went up like 30%. I said, "What? What did they do that for?" I called them. And the agent explained to me that I just got at the end of this. It was my turn to get my increase, okay, or get the increase. Everybody got an increase. It just happened. Mine fell at the end of a cycle or whatever, and I noticed it more than most people. I don't know whatever that meant. Anyways, I was a little upset with that. So recently, I'm not too sure how this happened, but I went down to talk to him, my agent at Farm Bureau of Tennessee. That's my insurance company. They have my home and my auto, about my insurance premiums. And we sat down, and when we got done, I pay quarterly. When I got done, I realized that I was paying almost $4,800 a year for home and auto insurance. Now, we have two cars. My wife's driving a 2021 Honda CR-V. I've got a 2023 Nissan Frontier pickup truck, okay? Both are paid. Well, the truck's almost paid for. The car's paid for. We carry basic coverage, 50, 150, whatever it's called. We've got a few little extras like a rental car and I don't know what else is in there. But it's just a couple little things that really wouldn't make a whole lot of difference. But I said, man, that's a lot of money. $400 a month, for crying out loud. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to take my policy. I'm going to go see State Farm and anybody else of the big companies that I can find in town. If there's an Allstate, I go see them. If you've got experience with your insurance company, with rates and maybe your insurance has increased too. I did read a few comments where the insurances had increased on some people that I got comments from. Maybe it's the norm. I don't know. Groceries went up 30% since COVID. I think probably the car insurance and house insurance too, but $400 a month. It's like my second biggest bill that I have. Well, when I get rid of my truck payment in December, it'll be my second. Right now it's my third. But it's my second biggest bill behind groceries. I mean, groceries runs about, just the grocery part runs about $625 a month now, just for groceries, okay, not for the paper goods and all that. And then this car insurance and house insurance running me about $400 a month. It's crazy, okay? So I'm going to do some shopping, do some figuring out, and when I do get a quote or I figure out what I'm going to do, I'll definitely do a video on it. It'd be nice to get the insurance agents on video, wouldn't it? Get them to explain it all to us. But I just don't get it myself. Lori says, you keep answering my questions. Once a year, you will get a fee. I think ours is like $25 each. Yeah, from what I understand at Planet Fitness, in March the 1st is, I think you pay, it's either 29, I think she said it was 29. It might be a little bit more than that. It might be 39. Yeah, the Lloyd channel. It's like another car payment. Now you figure this out, okay? Well, if you pay, let's say you got a house that's worth $100,000, let's say, and you're paying X amount of dollars. Let's see, I'm paying about. Let me think for a second. I'm paying. How much is the house? The house is about $1,450 a year. Let's just call it $1,500 a year. If you pay that for 10 years and don't have any claims, you paid $15,000 in insurance. If you have a 30-year loan and you pay it over the life of the loan, you've paid $45,000 in insurance on a house that's only worth $100,000. You know. Now, I will have to say this. My home insurance, my homeowner's policy is replacement value. So if the house burns to the ground, they have to replace it, okay? They have to replace it. So, but right now, here's another thing. I'm scared to even say this. Okay, my home is insured for X amount of dollars. Well, if you take the square footage and add the new construction cost to rebuild the home, I am underinsured. Okay, significantly, by half. And even though my insurance coverage has been going up over the years, you know, started down here about 80,000, went on up and up, it's still not enough. I need to increase it. I'm afraid to increase it. Okay, I think it's going to cost me a lot more money. But if something happens, my house burns to the ground, I'm only going to get that amount of money, the full amount. Okay, I don't know if replacement cost means they got to rebuild it, or they have a limit. If that limit is what I'm insured for, that's all I'm going to get. That's the way I see it. So if I'm only insured for like $200,000 and it costs $300,000 to rebuild the house, I'm only going to get $200,000. I'm going to have to pay the other $300,000 myself. I don't know if any of you have checked new construction prices, but they're outrageous. Okay, I know because we just went through this, trying to decide what we were going to do for the parents versus building something versus a mobile home, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. So, yeah, it's about $250 to $300 a square foot here in Tennessee. I'm sure it's higher in other parts of the country. So if you want to build yourself a 1,000 square foot house, you're going to spend $250,000, $300,000. I don't know how anybody can afford a house these days. I really don't. Okay. That's why I say buy your house young, pay it off before you retire, go debt free. Okay. Anyways, appreciate y'all being here tonight for my live stream, and it was kind of nice knowing y'all and talking to y'all. And we'll do this again some other time. Okay. Good night, and we'll talk to y'all later. Stay tuned for more videos on the channel. We'll see you. Bye-bye.